You know, it's kind of wild how symbols can look almost exactly the same, but mean completely different things. That's exactly what we're diving into today. A story of three six-pointed stars that couldn't be more different from each other.
So, when you see a six-pointed star, what are you really looking at? Is it some kind of divine vehicle to the heavens? A shield of faith for a whole culture? Or is it a warning sign against false gods? Yeah, it's super easy to get them mixed up. But stick with me, and by the end of this, it's all gonna make perfect sense.
All right, let's start pulling at these threads. We're going to kick things off with the most complex one, the Merkaba. And there's a good reason for that. Once you get what makes the Merkaba unique, you'll see just how different the other two really are.
Okay, first things first, and this is crucial. The Merkaba is not a flat star. It's 3D. I want you to picture two pyramids, like actual 3D pyramids, one pointing up, one pointing down, and then just merge them together. It's this incredible shape, and it's not just a cool drawing. It's a piece of sacred geometry that comes from both Jewish and Egyptian mystical traditions.
And get this, the name itself basically tells you its whole story. If you break it down from ancient Egyptian, Mer is light, Ka is spirit, and Ba is body. Put them together, and you've got this idea of a light, spirit, body vehicle. And then in Hebrew, the word Merkava, it literally means chariot, a vehicle for going up.
This slide just nails the key difference. See, the Merkaba, it's a living, breathing 3D form. You're meant to imagine it spinning, moving in all directions. But the 2D star, that's just flat. Two triangles on top of each other, static. That single difference, it changes everything.
So what was this chariot for? Well, in Jewish mysticism, it's talked about as the divine vehicle from the prophet Ezekiel's vision, a way to actually travel to other realms. In ancient Egypt, it was seen as the light body, the thing that would carry your soul to the afterlife. And if you look at it through the lens of sacred geometry, it represents a perfect balance, the masculine and feminine energies coming together in harmony.
Okay, so you've got that spinning 3D Merkaba on your head, right? Good. Now let's shift gears to our second star, one you've definitely seen before, the Star of David. And trust me, the difference is going to jump right out at you.
So right away, unlike the super ancient mystical Merkaba, the Star of David, or Magen David, is a flat 2D emblem. And while, yeah, the six-pointed shape has been around in Jewish culture for a long time, it really only became the main symbol of Jewish identity in the last few centuries. Its power isn't in spiritual travel, it's in being a symbol for a people.
And the name itself says it all. Magen David literally translates to Shield of David. And that's exactly what it is. It's a shield, a symbol of protection, of heritage, of a shared identity. It's not a chariot, it's a shield.
All right, that brings us to our third and final star. This is the one that really gets tangled up in all the confusion. And honestly, it has a much darker backstory. We're talking about the Star of Remthon, which is basically a star of warning.
The whole reason we even know about this star comes from one specific powerful line in the Bible. It's in the book of Acts, where Stephen is calling out the ancient Israelites for, their history of worshiping false gods. And he specifically points to the star of your god Rephan as something they made to worship.
So, who or what was Remphan? Well, the general consensus among scholars is that it was a name for a god connected to the planet Saturn. So the Star of Remphan isn't about faith or mysticism at all. It's a biblical symbol for idolatry, for worshiping planets and false gods.
Okay, so we have our three stars, each with its own story. Now let's line them up and really tackle why they get so mixed up and get into the controversies surrounding them.
And boom, here it is, all laid out. This is the core of it all, the Merkaba, a 3D spiritual vehicle. The Star of David, a 2D shield of faith. And the Star of Remphan, a 2D warning against idolatry. They've got different shapes, different backstories, and completely, wildly different meanings. But that's the big question, right? If they're all so different, why on earth do people get them so confused? Why do they get all mashed together, especially when you start diving into more, let's say, esoteric circles?
Well, it really starts with the most obvious thing. They just look alike. And that visual similarity is the doorway to all sorts of wild interpretations. You'll see theories linking the Star of David to political agendas, not just faith. The Merkaba gets pulled into ideas about secret knowledge for the elite. And the Star of Remphan? Oh yeah, that one gets tied to all kinds of theories about secret societies and occult stuff.
Okay, And I have to be super clear about this. These ideas are controversial, to say the least. They are not backed up by mainstream history or any real evidence. They tend to mix and match symbols with modern conspiracy theories. The only reason we're even mentioning them is to show you why the confusion exists, not to say that any of it is true.
So when you see how easily one simple shape can be twisted and misinterpreted, and how heated those interpretations can get, it really brings us to the big takeaway here. What does this tell us about the power of symbols, and why does getting the story right matter so much?
When it all boils down, you just need to remember one number: 3. We're talking about 3 different stars, with 3 totally separate identities. So let's just hammer this home one last time. You've got the Merkaba, the divine chariot, a 3D tool for the spirit. You've got the Star of David, the shield of faith, a 2D emblem for a culture. And you have the Star of Rempan, the Star of Warning, a symbol that points to losing your way. Really, this whole thing just proves that context is everything. A shape is just a shape until you know its story. And understanding that history is the only real way to protect ourselves from getting confused and falling for misinformation. And that kind of leaves us with one last question to chew on, doesn't it? We just unpacked the stories of 3 symbols, but think about it. How many other symbols do we see every single day, completely hidden in plain sight, without having a clue about the incredible stories they're telling?